Everyone. So the Andrew Wiggins rumor mill is back on. As I said, about a month ago or so now, I said as we inch closer to training camp, don't be surprised if Andrew Wiggins starts coming back up in the news. I think it'll kind of continue between now and training camp. We got the reports. I actually made a video. It's funny because I made a video about Andrew Wiggins because there were reports from others, Jacob Fisher and Harris Bagan, and then all of a sudden we got the Mark Stein after. And the Mark Stein basically reiterated what the other one said, but also did add that the Lakers are more interested in Andrew Wiggins, and it's more likely to happen now that they got Luka Doncic long term. So that is something that could be interesting. Look, Andrew Wiggins would be fantastic. He would be a get. Question becomes, is Andrew Wiggins enough by himself to, skyrocket this team to being a true title contender? There is the potential, right? You're talking about he solves many of the Lakers' biggest needs, which is shooting, self-shot creation. So he's not as reliant on a Luka Doncic, LeBron James, but he can still play off ball, be a catch and shoot three-point shooter, gives you that athleticism out on the wing and out on the perimeter, and then also gives you the defensive versatility to be able to defend 1 through 3, even 1 through 4 on many nights. And because of his size and his length, you can slot him in 2 through 4 for you. So he just gives you and unlocks a lot of versatility that you don't really get, right? Like Rui, you can't really slot into the 2. He's already getting torched and cooked at the 3. Imagine him at the 2. But Andrew Wiggins, you could do lineups where you have like Luka, Wiggins with like a Jake LaRavia or Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, and a DeAndre Ayton. So Andrew Wiggins really opens up and expands the potential for just various lineups and things that you could do. And reports have came out that the Lakers are more interested in taking on longer term salaries. Even Trevor Lane said that he was told that the whole 2027 salary thing is kind of just fugazi type, which I've talked about from the moment it was announced. It doesn't make sense, right? Like I could have told, I'm not an insider. I don't have sources. I'm just a guy, right? I was screaming that it's all nonsense because there's no way if you're gonna end up paying Austin Reeves and then if DeAndre Ayton ends up working out and he's good for you, now you got to pay him, and then Jake LaRavia, if he's really good, you're gonna have to do a new extension. You're gonna let all these guys go. Rui Hachimura, sure, okay, maybe they let him go, but you're really just gonna lose him for nothing. Like, it doesn't add up and it doesn't make sense. So now that the Lakers are open to taking on, longer term deals, taking on salaries, plus if you end up landing Nikola Jokic or Giannis or something like that, you're probably going to have to trade for them. So to have a $30 million expiring contract in Andrew Wiggins that a team might actually like, that you might be able to get some assets for to then go and trade, in that deal, or just, hey, here's Andrew Wiggins type thing, I just think would add more value to your whole stock. It also boils down to what is the cost of Andrew Wiggins, right? If it really is like Rui, Dalton Connect, Gabe Vincent in a first or something, like it's just too much, right? I do think that the potential of Andrew Wiggins could be enough to put them over the top. I don't think the Lakers believe that, because if they did, you would trade whatever you had to trade in order to do so. Now, it is possible that the Lakers do believe that, but this could be just they believe, just like a lot of people believe, that the Andrew Wiggins situation is going to become more realistic as time moves on, because Miami is going to want to shed the salary, right? And a lot of the reports that have came out in the last few days have talked about how, if Miami kind of decides to cut payroll as expected, then the Lakers are going to be a likely candidate for Andrew Wiggins. And I do think the Lakers will be able to, because the whole talk is like, okay, how many teams would be interested in Andrew Wiggins? And it's not that I don't think that there'd be several teams interested in him. It's just the Lakers are one of the few teams that can do what Miami would want, right? So Miami, it's not as straightforward as just trading Andrew Wiggins to a team. They don't want to give up assets to get off Andrew Wiggins, and if teams know you need to shed salary, they're going to want assets. They had to do it with Highsmith. They had to give up a second-round pick for Highsmith, a guy that is cheap enough that every veteran team, every contending team in the league would have loved to have him bring on to just be a depth piece. Right? And so imagine Andrew Wiggins, who's going to make $30 million next year. So you need to find a team that actually values him enough to give you something that's not going to ask for assets in return, that Andrew Wiggins would kind of want to go to, that isn't going to have to give up long-term long-term salary to Miami, because the whole point is Miami's trying to shed salary, right? So there's other teams that have the caps, or can create the cap space for Miami and help Miami out, but they're going to either want something in return for that, because most of those teams are kind of like the middle of the pack, bottom feeding teams, or one of these high end teams that maybe does have the salary, right? Like they're probably going to want to kind of, hey, here's an even trade with the Lakers. I could see maybe giving up assets for, right? It's just I don't think the Lakers will go as far as a first, nor should they, right? Lakers have to be very cautious. And Rob Pelinka himself said the Lakers are active, that they are aggressive, that they're looking for trades, that they want to and expect to win this season. Right? They have Luka Doncic and LeBron James. We don't know how much longer LeBron James is going to stick around. The plan and goal is to win this season. Right? Rob Pelinka said it himself, that under the leadership of Luka and LeBron, that they should be able to win. So I do think Rob Pelinka is going to make moves. I do think he's going to make trades and changes and things like that. I just think he's staying and continue to remain patient. I hope that that's the case, because to me, right, it's one thing to say it. I do have kind of my fears that if we're really good, and like, let's say, because I do think this is going to be a really good team. And I think a lot of it's going to be because Luka is going to be really good next year. LeBron James is going to be second option, like first time ever in his career. I just think you're going to have a very good Lakers team next season. My concern is that instead of Rob Pelinka looking at that and going, yes, okay, let's go get Andrew Wiggins and get it done, especially if you can keep Rui Hachimura and then like move Rui off the bench, that would be phenomenal if you could do that to really add depth and scoring and all those things, which if Miami's just trying to get off salary, then now you're more incentivized to do so. So if the trade is right and things work out and everything lines up, perfect. Will he do it? And it's not that I don't think Rob Pelinka will make a trade, because, like I've said a million times, he's trade happy. Like the guy's made a trade every season but one. So if there is a trade to be had, he's going to do it. My concern is if the Lakers show that, hey, no, this team is an Andrew Wiggins away and we're really good and we're over the top, does he kind of, unless that price significantly drops, goes like, I'd rather just stay the course as is, right? Like, because that, like, it's easy to look at it and go, okay, we're a piece away, let's go do it. It's another thing to be like, oh, we're right there. It's just, how does Rob Pelinka and the Lakers perceive it? Do they look at it as like, okay, let's go get Wiggins and make this happen? I hope that that's the reality if this team is really good. The alternative, if the Lakers are not very good, then I definitely don't think that they get Andrew Wiggins. So I think the Lakers need to be like where they were last year, kind of in that like hovering around 3-4 range, to where Rob Pelinka goes, all right, like, let's go make this happen. Let's go get an Andrew Wiggins at the trade deadline, kind of like you saw with Dorian Finney-Smith and things like that. If they're kind of hovering and kind of in that mix, where my concern is if the Lakers look like one of the top 3 teams in basketball, Rob Pelinka goes, do I really want to mess with this chemistry? Do I really want to mess this up and introduce in a new guy? We'll see. Time will tell. But as far as Andrew Wiggins goes, I do think, again, he is one of the better options that we can bring. I don't think he is a first or second option. I think he's more of a third or fourth option. I think if you are a true contending team, him as your third or fourth option, you're going to be very good. And I think he's a guy that, on any given night we've seen, you be your best guy, be your second guy. But that's usually how it goes, right? Like, so, the idea of like, okay, Luka's having an off night. You got LeBron James, Austin Reeves, Andrew Wiggins, and DeAndre Ayton to kind of pick up the slack, so on and so forth. LeBron's having a rough night. You got Andrew Wiggins, Austin Reeves, right? So on paper, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Andrew Wiggins, LeBron James, and DeAndre Ayton is probably the best starting 5 in basketball, right? Like, but we've seen paper doesn't solve everything. You need to be able to defend. You need to be able to have a fluid offense, right? You need guys that can impact the game in a multitude of ways. Like, we need, how does LeBron James and Luka Doncic, how does their chemistry and their relationship work out? Austin Reeves and him plugging in. Does Austin Reeves kind of fade out? Does Austin Reeves end up becoming the kind of the 5th guy because he just doesn't fit, right? Based on what we saw last year, particularly in the playoffs, that could be a problem. That could be an issue, right? Because now Austin Reeves is going to have to get better playing off ball and being able to catch and shoot from the 3-point line. If he can't do that well, then Andrew Wiggins is just going to naturally rise to the top. And I've already talked about, I think DeAndre Ayton could potentially step into that third man role just because that's one of Luka's favorite outlets. So Luka's going to be doing his thing. They're going to be running the pick and roll action with DeAndre Ayton. And Luka's going to be constantly looking to feed DeAndre Ayton because that's what he likes to do. And then DeAndre Ayton's also able to make plays for himself and all that stuff. So I think that there is potential where Austin Reeves could kind of fade away. So if that ends up happening, would the Lakers actually consider trading Austin Reeves? Because that could really now take your team. If you can get another two-way 3-and-D wing, now I think you definitely can win a championship. All right? And even if it's not somebody as good as Austin Reeves, I think if you could get can you turn them into, I don't know, would Miami trade or not Miami, Orlando, would they trade a Jalen Suggs? Hey, would they maybe do something like that where you could do, especially if you can keep Rui, could you do Suggs and stuff? So now you got that would be ridiculous at that point. Just the defense, the versatility, the hustle, the 3-point shooting, right? I don't know. It's all going to kind of predicate on how the season's going. Because I don't think the Andrew Wiggins trade happens this offseason. In a perfect world it does, but I think realistically we're probably looking closer to the trade deadline. I think Miami's going to want to kind of see how things are working, how things are looking. I think the Lakers are going to want to see, right? Because if that 3-and-D spot really starts to rear its head, then I think the Lakers will be more incentivized. But if Jake LaRavia is really good and Jared Vanderbilt's really good or Marcus Smart is able to fill that void or whatever, then I think that could, I still wouldn't be against, unless Jake LaRavia is just that good. But I still would like the Lakers just for the experience that Andrew Wiggins provides, just for the abilities that Andrew Wiggins have. I'd rather see him come to a team like the Lakers and then have if Jake LaRavia is really killing, right? Now you can do that off the bench. You can still kind of scatter the minutes. And like I said, you can play Andrew Wiggins at the 2. So you could have Andrew Wiggins. So at that point, Gabe Vincent's probably gone and all that stuff anyway. So you could do Marcus Smart at the 1, Wiggins playing 2-3 for you, and then Jake LaRavia playing 3-4 for you type. Then you kind of mix and match. And then that could open the door for Rui and so on and all these other guys. So to me, I think it is in the Lakers' best interest to continue to remain patient, let things unfold and develop, let things kind of settle in and take its own course, and then depending on how those things shape up, will kind of dictate the direction that the Lakers go. But obviously, if Lakers can upgrade the roster, I want them to upgrade the roster. It's that simple, right? Go win if you can. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.